Hi everyone, and thanks for joining. Today I'm going to walk you through this Oopsie, very easy Linux box available on Hack the Box platform. This is the second box from the so-called Tier 2, don't forget to contemplate. I'll proceed to connect to Hack the Box VPN network, then spawn the target instance. Let's check out details of my VPN connection. I'll use OpenVPN and my own attack machine. I already downloaded this VPN configuration file. And let's give it a couple of minutes for this page to update. I already see in the upper right corner of my attacker machine that I'm connected to Hack the Box Starting Point VPN network. Great, we see the change now reflected. And let's spawn the machine. This machine has tags PHP, custom applications, Apache, reconnaissance, website, structure discovery, cookie manipulation, suid exploitation, authentication bypass, clear text credentials, arbitrary file upload, and insecure direct object reference, idor, and path hijacking. I already downloaded official write-up. I'll go through it focusing on hands-on part, and towards the end of the video, as usual, go over these task questions. Let's first try to ping this target instance IP, though it's not mandatory to get echo replies. You see the machine is responsive to ping with TTL63 as usual for Linux instance. And let's proceed to run nmap with switches SCSV. According to the walkthrough, we expect to see 2 ports reported back as open, 22 for SSH and 80 for HTTP Apache web server. And we'll proceed to browse directly to the web page. As we see, our nmap output as expected, port 22 and 80 open. Great, the website is visible as expected from the walkthrough. Let's navigate a bit through it, and we should be able to observe this note mentioning, please log in to get access to the service. Considering there is no login visible on the website, we will then proceed to tunnel our web traffic through Burp Suite and see if Burp will be able to crawl some additional pages related to logging in. We'll configure Burp in Mozilla. I already have Foxy Proxy extension added to my Firefox browser, but this time we'll skip Foxy Proxy and directly adjust Firefox browser. By configuring proxy 127.0.0.1 port 8080 and enable also use this proxy for FTP and HTTPS. So all requests go through Burp. And then we'll verify intercept option is disabled. And let's pause now with the walkthrough and configure everything hands-on until this section. Considering this login page is at the moment not visible from this main page, we don't see any options for logging in. We'll proceed to manually configure proxy directly in Firefox browser by navigating to settings. Switch manual proxy configuration 127.0.0.1. Also use this proxy for HTTPS. Leave everything else as is. And let's start burp. And in target sitemap, let's expand this first row. Let's click on the arrow. Let's move burp back to the left. And now it is possible to spot some directories and files that weren't visible while browsing manually. And one that is indeed very interesting is the directory of cdn-cgi/login. Let's see that in our burp, cdn, cgi, and we see login. And let's now manually navigate to cdn-cgi/login in the browser. We expect to see such login panel. And the walkthrough points us that after trying a couple of default user and password combinations, we won't manage to get any access, but there is also an option to log in as guest. Trying that, we will be presented with a couple of new navigation options as we are logged in as guest. And the most interesting here seems to be the uploads page. We'll navigate to it. And it's mentioned here, this action requires super admin rights. We'll now proceed to view and try to manipulate our cookies to be able to get access to this uploads page with super admin rights. For that purpose, we'll use developer tools. And I'll navigate to it with shortcut Ctrl-Shift-I. Let's move it up a bit, and storage tab. We see here name role value guest and name user value 2233. In one of the previous falling menu sections, we saw that our ID is 2, and we will try to directly refer to admin's ID, for example 1, to see if we can enumerate to find admin's user value. So we see here content equals accounts and ID equals 2. and guest user's access ID is 2233. And let's try to brute force this ID parameter. For example, let's start from 0. Nothing. Then 1. Let's disable Firefox manual proxy for now. Meaning, let's switch it to no proxy. And let's refresh the page. Great. We see now admin's access ID is 34322. And let's now adjust our cookie. And instead of role guest, let's guess admin here. And instead of previous user value, let's put 34322. 34322. And let's refresh the page and switch to upload step then. Great, now we can see the uploads page as an admin can. Now that we got access to the upload form, we can attempt to upload a PHP reverse shell. Let's see with Webalizer. Webalizer also recognizes PHP as programming language. Instead of creating our own one, we will use an existing one. In Parrot OS, it is possible to find web shells under the folder user share web shells. However, if you don't have it, you can download it from here, GitHub Black Arch Web Shells. For this exercise, we are going to use the user share web shells PHP, PHP reverse shell PHP, and adjust these two lines with our attacker IP address and port. In my case, this number can stay, so I'll change only IP address. We'll then try to upload it. According to the screenshot, this file with PHP extension will be uploaded successfully. Then we'll need to find where it's uploaded, and we'll confirm that by running a GoBuster tool. And let's pause with the walkthrough and do the hands-on part until this section. So here we should upload the PHP reverse shell. It's mentioned Parrot OS, contains the file, and for example, if you opt for a virtual machine that does not contain it, you can download it from here. Also, this same file is available on PentestMag GitHub. And I'll try to find it on my machine. I think it's already available. Let's run now locate or where is. I have it also in user share web shells PHP. I'll copy paste it to my Oopsie directory. Where I am at the moment. And let's adjust the IP address row. I don't have a gedit at the moment. Let's try with mousepad. And let's adjust this row only. Let's try to upload the file. First, let's browse to the file, choose it, then upload it. And great, it has been successfully uploaded. And let's now try to find this upload directory with GoBuster. Let's adjust this GoBuster dir command. It's at the moment 2 rows. We need it to be in 1 row. GoBuster dir target IP is this one. And word list will confirm that we have this one on our computer. Let's run locate. Let's copy paste it for just in case, or the previous one. And let's choose only extension PHP. We're only interested in PHP files and directories. We expect to see uploads directory listed after some time, as seen in the walkthrough. Great, there it is. Let's navigate to it. And as seen in the walkthrough, we don't have permission to access this resource, but let's take our chances and try to directly interact with uploaded PHP reverse shell file by its name as is, after we set up netcat listener locally. We will run locally nc-lvnp1234. And let's try to upload the shell again in case it got deleted in the meantime. It has been uploaded. Let's try again. Now we have connection back. Let's run who am I, and in order to have a functional shell, we'll issue the following: python 3-c import pty spawn bin bash. So let's first who am I. Great, we have a more functional shell. And let's see if we can find some interesting credentials with our www data user on Oopsie machine that will help us to escalate our privileges and obtain root flag. So first, as we are dealing with kind of PHP server, and we saw in burp there was cdn-cgi directory /login. Let's try to find that directory and subdirectory on our target instance. So let's try with the locate or where is. So we are looking for cdn-cgi/login directory. There it is. Let's switch to it. Let's switch to login. And let's list this subdirectory contents. Great, we see 3 PHP files and 1 JavaScript. And let's now run this command in this login subdirectory to see everything where pass_w is mentioned. Great, we now have this output showing username admin and password megacorp. So let's save that in our notes file. And let's also try to check etc passwd for users on the system and test them out for password reuse of this found password. Let's only grep for rows mentioning bin bash shell for better visibility. And there are only root and Robert. Let's try to switch from our www data user to Robert user with this newly found password. As expected, there is authentication failure. And with that, we would proceed to read through all files listed in this subdirectory. Let's start from db.php1. And there we see another set of credentials. So let's save this also in our notes file. And this one mentions password for Robert. So let's try with that. Great, we are now Robert user and we'll proceed to read the contents of user flag, and it can be found in Robert's home directory. Let's switch to it now. Now, before running any privilege escalation or enumeration scripts, let's check the basic commands for elevating privileges like sudo and id. First, let's run sudo-l. We see user Robert may not run sudo on Oopsie. Let's try with id. And from this we can conclude that Robert is a member of bug tracker group. And let's see if there are any binaries within this group with command find /-group bug tracker and omit any errors. Let's give it a couple of seconds. Great, as expected, we see this binary bug tracker in user bin subdirectory. And let's check what privileges and what type of file it is with lsla bug tracker and file bug tracker, including full path for bug tracker binary. And let's save everything in our notes. And we see there is a suid set on the binary, which is a promising exploitation path, commonly noted as suid, suid, set owner user ID. The special permission for the user access level has a single function. A file with suid always executes as the user who owns the file, regardless of the user passing the command. In our case, the binary bug tracker is owned by root, and we can execute it as root since it has suid set. Let's run the application and observe how it behaves. Let's copy paste its full path. And it asks us to provide bug ID. Let's give it the same one as seen in the screenshot. And in output we see cat root reports 12, no such file or directory. So this tool is accepting user input as a name of the file that will be read using the cat command. However, it does not specify the whole path to the file cat, and thus we might be able to exploit this. We'll navigate to temp directory and create a file named cat with the following content /bin/sh. And then we'll set execute privileges to it with chmod +x cat. Also, in order to exploit this, we will add the /temp directory to the path environmental variable with export path equals temp $path, and then we'll check path with echo path. Okay, let's now pause with the walkthrough and do this part hands-on. First, let's verify what's our default shell with echo $shell. It's bin bash. Let's try also with echo $0. It shows bash, and let's see all shells available on the system with cat etc shells, and there's the list. So we'll proceed to create a malicious cat file in temp directory with the content bin sh. Let's see. have anything already available here? No. Let's create a new file. It might be most convenient to run echo, then the content bin sh, and send it to cat. We see there's cat listed. Let's cat the malicious cat out. Let's try. And it shows bin sh. Looks good at the moment. And let's edit execute privileges. Great. And now let's add temp directory to path. Let's first check current path content. So at the moment, if we call cat, it will source from one of these directories. And because of that, we'll add temp to path and then call cat from temp directory. And with that, we expect the malicious newly created cat will be called. Great, we are already in temp directory. And let's call the bug tracker binary once again from the temp directory, and this time we expect it will drop us to shell with root permissions, from where we'll be able to navigate to root flag. Let's give it 12 once again. And great, we see sharp sign, we expect pure root now. Let's verify, who am I? And we are root. And let's navigate to root folder and get out the root flag. We see a root.txt file. Let's get it out. But this time cat won't show us characters from the root flag, so let's try with strings. Now let's go through these task questions. Task number 1. What kind of tool can intercept web traffic? That's proxy. Task 2. What is the path to the directory on the web server that returns a login page? Well, we saw that in burp. cdn cgi/login. Task 3. What can be modified in Firefox to get access to the upload page? So we modified a cookie. Task 4. What is the access ID of the admin user? We saw that here. Task 5. On uploading a file, what directory does the file appear in on the server? So GoBusterDeer led us to /uploads. Task 6. What is the file that contains the password that is shared with the Robert user? We found Robert passwords in db.php file. Task 7. What executable is run with the option -group bug tracker to identify all files owned by the bug tracker group? We ran find. Task 8. Regardless of which user starts running the backtracker executable, what user privileges will be used to run it? That's root. Task 9. What suid stands for? We saw that in the walkthrough. Task 10. What is the name of the executable being called in an insecure manner? So we leveraged cat. And after submitting user flag and root flag, we can say we completed the blocks and we can terminate the target instance. And that would be all for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one. Until next video, bye for now.